Hey everyone, welcome back to Hope and Uncertainty. I'm Elizabeth Carpenton.
And I'm Keith Adams, and this is our finale. Can you believe that? This is the last episode of our summer series. Today we're celebrating what's been accomplished, saying thank you to all you folks who have been listening and watching and being a part of this Small Revolution of Kindness by volunteering and giving, and looking ahead to see what's next for this Small Revolution of Kindness. We're really excited, and I think you will be too.
Yes, but first, before we get to those things, we have to celebrate the moments that have filled this summer.
Absolutely, absolutely.
There's just been moments full of hope throughout this entire summer. Some came through major events and some through little surprises that we weren't even expecting. What stood out to you as one of those moments?
You know, one of the big ones was a food drive that came in. You know, Young Men's Service League food drive. It was just a couple weeks ago, and big shout out to Christy Jones. Christy Jones really pulled together this amazing food drive.
Yes,
and I think you were there when it was happening, right?
I was there. I was out on the dock, and it was car after car after car, and like not like a little sedan, like big suburban SUV vans full of food, like top to bottom, and just filling up box after box after box. I really never seen anything like it. It was amazing.
Yeah, 4,800 pounds. Can you believe that? 4,800
in 2
pounds.
weeks.
2 weeks pulling that all together. She must have had those boys running all over the place gathering that food together.
So yeah, for those of you listening, for some perspective, our average food drive is about 300 pounds.
Yeah.
So I mean, she just blew it out of the water. It was amazing.
And Young Men's Service League is an amazing partner of ours anyhow.
Yep.
I mean, they're here all the time, and they're doing different stuff. They painted our facility.
Yeah.
And this was just like a real capstone. Really in the hour that we needed some real hope in this time of uncertainty for our families to bring in all this food.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. And not only that, but I mean, my goodness, we've had such amazing amount of food drives, haven't we?
Yes, we've had so many food drives this summer. I think, when we mentioned earlier in the year that we found out TFAP was getting cut and we weren't quite sure how we were going to have enough food for everybody, the community just stepped up, and it feels like we have more food on the shelves now than we have. I think about this time last summer.
Oh, there's no doubt there's more than last time this summer or any time this summer.
Just so, people have really stepped up and, heard the call and met the need. And
that's amazing. A really shout out to you guys out there, because you guys really stepped up in that area. And that's just one of the food drives. We have many other food drives that came in.
Yes.
What stood out to you?
Well, we had Getting Ahead graduation in June, and we had 11 graduates.
I know. Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Which was amazing. And I mean, I think the first graduation I ever went to, we had 4 graduates. Yeah. So just to see the growth in the last few years is amazing. And on top of that, 4 folks received their ESIP $500 savings checks, which is just always such a huge accomplishment and a huge celebration. It's transformation in action. It's what this small revolution of kindness is all about.
Yeah. And I think sometimes our people who watch us may not know. We use these terms like crazy, like ESIP. What in the world is ESIP? Well, ESIP is our Emergency Savings Incentive Plan. And this is one way that we, after folks graduate from Getting Ahead, they have something else to do to put into place all the things that they had planned and thought about during Getting Ahead. And so we put out a $500 emergency savings account as an incentive. And truthfully, the incentive really helps to keep for focus. But what they're really doing, and besides the $500, I mean, they are really building the building blocks for this new life of moving into stability and growth in their lives. And they have to do a whole bunch of things in order to get there. And, again, you're talking about, 4 people graduating back in the day, and at times, the first one that you were at. I mean, we've had some large graduations, but one of the cool things about this is that more people that start Getting Ahead are completing Getting Ahead. That's the biggest area. And that takes a great staff, which we have here, just to constantly encourage people and to move them along. And that's really what's happening with Dylan and Ruth and Grace, being able to encourage people to stay into it and stick with it. And then same with ESIP. I mean, I think just this half year, we've had more people get their ESIP checks than we've ever had all together to this point.
And I think, don't want to be fact checked, but I think that every Getting Ahead graduate, every person who's graduated from Getting Ahead this year has signed up to be a part of ESIP.
I believe there might be one or two outliers.
But the majority have signed up, which is just really cool and shows their own dedication and willingness to grow and thrive. And for those of you watching, if you're local and you're in our community and you haven't been to a Getting Ahead graduation, stay tuned. More on that later, but you should go to one.
Exactly right. We also saw amazing generosity over this period of time, haven't we?
Yes.
Again, we put out that call that there's a challenging time, and folks stepped up, and we had a couple of. Well, we have one matching grant coming on now, but it's still going on. I think the end of it, this is going to come out, I think, on Thursday, and Friday will be our last day. But we had that amazing 6K fundraising grant, matching grant, and we raised $6,000. Now, we wanted to do it in 6 days. It took us 7. But that's okay.
But yeah, and I think it's important to know that the language of the grant, we had a very generous individual that gave us those funds. And to see folks really step up to the challenge, I think 6K in 7 days is just as impressive as 6K in 6 days.
So having done that earlier in the year, here at the end, as we're closing out this summer, we got the 10K in 10 days. Today we're taping this on Wednesday, so we got 3 days today and 2 more days. And so when you're hearing this on Thursday, please, folks, get online, get on the website, send the checks and drive them in. We got to get this $10,000 in this time frame, and we need to do it before Labor Day,
Memorial Day.
So anyhow, but it's been amazing to think that we had these very generous matching donors who are willing to step up and encourage other people to give. And that is a really big success. We haven't had this many matching donors forever with our different campaigns. So this has been a really awesome time too.
Yeah, it's exciting, and it's just such a great motivator to know that your individual donation is going to make twice the impact. That's so exciting for me, and I think for maybe those people who are just getting into giving or feel like, oh, well, I don't know if my gift is going to make a difference because it's so small. But there truly is no gift too small here. And it's just exciting to see the community kind of motivated.
Well, like we've already said, $25 provides a week's worth of groceries to one of our folks out in that we deliver to through our Common Cupboard Ally program.
So amazing generosity. We've also had a summer of celebrations, Keith.
We have.
We were very well represented in the Indian Trail 4th of July parade, thanks to our friends at Rubber Chicken Towing. And we had some of our amazing volunteers decked out in their 4th of July gear, and they decked out the truck, and they rode down through the parade. They looked amazing, and they looked so amazing that we were honored as the Judges' Choice winners. Got a trophy and everything, so it's really official. But it was just a really cool way to have a presence out in our community, and especially right here in Indian Trail. And then we had Elevation Church with Love Week. They had 5 service projects with us. I'm especially grateful because they painted my office, and it looks amazing. Weddington Methodist Church, they did a great week of service, and they actually kicked off their great week of service right here at Common Heart. We were their very first project.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, super cool. We were the very first project of that week of service. And our partnership with the Union County Farmers Market, shout out to Rockstar volunteer Marissa Haka for organizing that. But we went from getting maybe, like last year when we started doing this, we were getting maybe 10, 15 pounds here and there. Now we're getting over 100 pounds a month from the farmer's market.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Which is really cool. And
that's really different because it's not like the providers are doing. People are actually supporting the farmers by buying it and then donating what they buy to us.
Yep. So
that's pretty cool because it does two things at the same time.
Absolutely. We have what we call our donation station, and Melissa runs it, and folks are encouraged to go, like you said, support all the local farmers and buy produce so we can give fresh produce right back out to our neighbors.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's awesome.
That is a really, really cool thing. Well, we've also had tons.
Truly.
I mean, my goodness, tons of students who have come and volunteered during this summer, during the summer break. And the kids were really instrumental in keeping us going, especially in the pantry.
Yes.
My goodness. And sorting food, packing boxes, getting out and serving with energy. Because truthfully, during the summer, the other thing that happens is that a lot of our regular adult volunteers, they go on vacation.
They do.
And it's really, isn't it amazing how that happens? They go on vacation, but the people on vacation, the kids, they come in and make up the gap.
They do, and it's amazing. And I will say, with kids going back to school this week, it's been very quiet around here, much quieter than it usually is, because they just bring so much energy and noise and excitement. So we are glad they're back in school, but we're a little sad because that means they're not here.
But you know what that also means?
The regulars are back.
Yes. And that means that there's room for you to join now.
Yes.
You can go on our website and actually find spaces to volunteer on. And we have had some shortages since they've gone away.
We have, especially our packing for our pantries, our evening pantries, which is crucial. Because all of that is what goes directly to our neighbors. So particularly on a Monday or Tuesday afternoon, if you're looking for something to do, come see us.
Yes. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. That just the idea of all those volunteers are really cool.
I'll say a cool fact. I know it's not always about the numbers, but we have officially crested we have over 9,000 active volunteers.
Whoa, that's amazing. That's pretty amazing. That's exciting.
It's amazing.
That's something to really celebrate.
It really is. And
Barb and Deb and I and Harry would never imagine 9,000 friends working to make and serve in this community and do this kind of thing. That's the wildest thing. We would never imagine that.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, and it just keeps growing, and it's just really, really cool to see our community mobilize and come together to make this happen. And as we grow and as we're serving more people, we need more people to help make Common Heart happen.
Yep, exactly.
So, and one thing that was really special for me this summer is we had 41 people tell us why they give to Common Heart.
Wow.
Which is just incredible. And their answers were so inspiring and so encouraging, and just to know people's why is a really special thing. So we'll share a little bit more about that here in a moment.
And then you really can't go much further without celebrating a lot of the giving that's going on. But one big special one is the Union Power Foundation, who chose us to give us a major donation.
Yep.
And what I think was really cool is they taped me twice.
They sure did.
They taped me and put out a video for on Facebook about us receiving it, and then we're going to be in the member meeting.
Yeah.
They're going to send it out to all their members, hearing about Common Heart and what. I mean, I might be the one talking, but really, I'm talking about what you guys are doing.
Yep.
What you guys are making happen by serving folks, and so that was a pretty cool opportunity too. But in that celebration of just that income that we had, that was desperately needed. I'm thinking right now that we're a little shaky on whether we're going to get some money from the Community Development Block Grant, because it's kind of up in the air what's going to happen there. But that's like $50,000 they went to our economic empowerment program and other stuff. So all these kind of grants that are coming in and people giving really make up the difference for us, so we can keep moving. And that was just one big shout out to Union Power Cooperative for helping us out there.
But it's really cool because Union Power has been a supporter for a long time. I think since COVID, maybe before.
They used to regularly send their linemen to our golf tournament, which that tells you a long time ago.
Long time ago. But what's cool is this is the first year they've actually have their own charitable foundation. And so not only do we get to receive a very significant grant, but we're in the first kind of cohort of people to receive one of these grants, which is really, really neat. And we got to be recognized alongside some amazing other organizations. And it was a pretty special day when
It
they
is.
came out and visited with us.
And I think that the other thing is, I'm going to give her a shout out right now because it was today. Sant Foundation.
Yep.
I didn't even know there was a Sant Corporation around, but they're a construction company out west, but they have a space right here in Charlotte, and they work around the region.
Yep.
And it was cool to meet the people there, and one of them lives right in Brandon Oaks. The guys that we met, and I see some more partnership opportunities there. And that's really cool and exciting when that kind of stuff happens.
It's always neat to have multiple points of connection and especially connect with people in our community. So behind every number, we can share these big numbers. We're serving like 9,000 people every month. But behind every number, there's neighbors and their stories. And just last week, Ron came by looking for food for his family, a single dad, job hunting. The hiring process is dragging. It's just hard. If anybody's gone through the hiring process, it's so challenging. And money for food and gas is running low.
Yeah. In fact, I heard Ron said, I'm just living day to day right now. This really helps. This really helps. So one box of food made all the difference. A little relief, a little hope. And that's because of you. That's because of your support. Actually, you're the ones giving Ron that food. You make it happen. You're the ones who give that, your generosity.
That's right. And we have a story of a Cupboard Ally volunteer delivering groceries to a neighbor and her daughter who was caring for the mom after major health issues. I feel like we see that a lot with some of our Cupboard Allies, folks taking care of family members who've had health issues. And she said it was like a weight lifted. The food helped her take care of her mom the best that she could.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's in the middle of all that uncertainty and the challenges and stuff like that, to have a Cupboard Ally show up with a box of groceries and a friendly smile and a conversation makes all the difference in the world.
Absolutely.
And that's really the cool part of this Small Restaurant of Kindness. I mean, that's what Barb and Deb and myself and Harry did at the very beginning. And I'm so glad that now we're in our 20th year, matter of fact. Just started in July here. We're still doing the same exact thing, except that it's not just for friends. It's 9,000 friends. Isn't that pretty cool? That's the heart of the movement, really, it's not just about the food, but it's about kindness. It's not groceries, but the strength to keep on going.
Yeah.
That is a key thought process here.
Absolutely. And like we've said repeatedly, but it's worth repeating, thank you. Yeah. All of these amazing things are because of you, because of our community, and you really have been the hope in uncertain times for our neighbors.
Absolutely. In the survey that you did and you sent out, great job, by the way, on putting that survey out, reminds us of the many reasons people are part of this movement. 5 themes rose to the top as we see it.
Yep. So the first one was belief in the mission. People told us that they give because they believe in the mission to eradicate food insecurity and eliminate generational poverty.
And I think that's cool because that's what we're about, this Small Restaurant of Kindness, just to do that.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll go beyond that in our everyday life of this kindness movement. Second is the support of the local community. The fact that we're local, this is a local grassroots movement serving local people. One response said, food is a basic need and you can't function in any other area of your life if you're hungry. No one should go to bed hungry. And to think that the direct results of your giving is really putting food on the table for families right here in our community, making all the difference in the world.
Absolutely. Third is alignment with faith and values. Giving is more than a donation. It's a way of living out what matters most. Yeah. And I feel like we are really lucky to have so many amazing connections with community organizations and faith communities, because a lot of times that's how people get connected with us. They're, like Elevation or Weddington, these groups, they come, they set up these service projects, and then folks like what they did and they want to keep coming and hanging out with us. And so, it's special to have those connections with those faith communities, and that people feel like this is a movement that they can live that out.
Yeah, and I think that's really important. When we first got started, the reality of it is that we were people that were moved by our own faith. We wanted to see some way to make real the things that we believed, and so kind of like doing it makes all the difference in the world. it's not just about what you believe or think.
Mm-hmm.
It's about actually putting feet to it.
Yeah.
And I remember one day saying to myself, just as I was contemplating getting involved with Barb and Deb, I said to myself, what if it's just as simple as just giving somebody a box of groceries?
Mm-hmm.
Just giving somebody a box of groceries and loving and caring about them. And that really, and we generally find that a lot of folks here really, it moves out of what they believe.
Mm-hmm.
It moves out of that higher purpose, that they're here for more than just themselves. They're here for the community. They're here to fulfill a sense of calling, a sense of duty, and a sense of love. And I think that's really, really important. And that kind of brings the other thing is that it's about a personal connection. And so not only do these folks see it as an act of faith, but then also being personally connected to something where it was similar. Okay, so many shared things like I or someone I know has experienced food insecurity or poverty. The experience of going through the same kind of challenges that our friends are going through really also helps motivate people. Now, so those are that's number 4, but number 5 is coming up, right?
Yep. And 5th is seeing the impact firsthand, especially in children. And somebody who filled out the survey said, simply the impact on children. My heart is for children.
Yeah.
And if you know me, my heart is for children too.
That's true.
And it's just amazing, especially over the summer when the consistency of breakfast and lunch at school aren't readily available for folks. Your support and generosity is so important because families are relying on our pantries even more just for that regular source of food for their kids.
Absolutely, absolutely. These voices remind us that giving is personal, it's values driven, it's rooted in experience and centered in hope.
Yeah. Keith, which of these resonates with you the most? I'm sure all of them, but.
Oh my goodness, you just stole my answer. No, but the reality of it is that, the reason I'm really involved with this, if it really comes down to it, yes, I absolutely, utterly have a heart for my neighbors and friends who have challenges. But the reason I'm really involved is because I have a heart for this community. And I think this community is a loving community. We just don't have all the opportunities to show it.
Yeah.
And so for me, the idea of it being local, of being connected with people, and for me, it's really about. When I say I had a pastor friend used to say to me, he would say to me, Keith, what I really love about you is your heart for the poor. And I said, yes, but really what this is I have a heart for you having a heart for the poor.
Yep.
And so seeing everyone getting involved really motivates me more and more and more. So awesome. I'm not sure if that really answered your question, but that's how I connect in with it. It's all those things.
Yeah.
And how we engage people is very important to me. How about you?
I think one of my favorite parts of this job and parts of the work that I get to do is similar, but figuring out what people's passions are, whatever that is, and figuring out how can we make that work with Common Heart.
Absolutely.
And that's the nice thing about being a smallish, less small now, but smallish organization is we get to be creative in what partnership looks like, in what giving looks like, and figuring out. I have a quote in my office from Frederick Buechner, and it's your vocation can be found where your desire and the world's greatest need comes together. And for me, that's what it's about. It's how can we find people's passions, people's hearts, people's gifts, where their strengths are. How can we utilize that to make our community better and love our neighbors better?
Absolutely.
So again, it's like kind of all of them.
Yeah.
But
mushed together.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Now I'm going to tell you the truth, friends. I want to turn the question back at you. We would really like to hear from you, our listeners and watchers. Why are you involved, and why do you give? What's your why? And we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, and I think, if you're listening online, you can share in the comments. If you're not yet involved, if maybe you're listening to this podcast to learn more about us and who we are and what we're doing, maybe it's time to ask yourself, what could your why be? I think sometimes those of us that work here, we have to kind of come back to our why, because we
Yeah.
can get caught up in the nitty gritty of everything and the day-to-day business. And, remembering what is your why? It could be your faith, your values, your love for children, and maybe even your own story or experience with food insecurity or poverty. Your why matters. It's important. And you never know, it could inspire somebody else to join this small revolution of kindness.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So Keith mentioned that we've got stuff going on.
We do.
On September 18th, in just a few weeks, at Nicey Grove Church in Marshville, we will be celebrating another Getting Ahead graduation. And like I said earlier, if you have never been to a Getting Ahead graduation and you're like, I still don't really understand what this whole Getting Ahead thing is all about, please come, enjoy a meal, eat with us. It is just so amazing to hear people's stories, see the impact it's had on their lives. And I feel like, economic empowerment as a whole, it's a little community, and people come back to support each other and, see how folks are doing. It's like a little reunion every time. And it's just really special. So September 18th, Getting Ahead graduation, Nicey Grove, Marshville.
And then there's a Bridges Out of Poverty workshop. We're launching an initiative this year to become full blown next year. But coming up, we have 2 individual lens workshops coming up in September, and our first ever community lens workshop in October. These workshops help us mobilize volunteers and professionals from every sector to work together toward a community where everyone thrives. These workshops are the basic of what we do. And when folks come here and get some training, for instance, our Covered Allies got to go through about 4 hours of training, they get a lot of these principles. But we go deeper dive. We have a 3-hour version of our individual lens, and we have the full day. And so we'd love to have you come, because the reality of it is that this is how we get to understand and build the mutual respect we need to have for folks that have a different experience than ourselves. It also gives us the opportunity to sharpen our skills in building relationships and kind of helping folks that we know. Many of them, I've had people come just because they know their own kids or their own grandkids or their own nieces and nephews, and they want to know, how can I help them do better? This is what Bridges Out of Poverty Workshop does, and we'd love to have you join us. And then I'm really excited about the Community Lens one coming up, because that one there is where we're going to get together and talk about how do we address poverty at the community and policy level. And so there are folks that are going to be interested in coming to that, but to come to that, you have to at least take the 3-hour individual lens. So I'd love to have folks join us.
Yep, we'd love to have you join us. You've been in the workshop. Is it worth it? I sure have. Absolutely. I've done the full day individual lens, and then we did an institutional lens with other social services folks. And it really is a great way to just deeper your understanding, and especially if you don't come from a poverty background, which really any of us, middle class or wealth, this poverty is not my experience growing up. So I feel like I learned a whole lot about just the lived experience of my neighbors and how, I can be a part of making solutions. So. And
then isn't the next thing coming up really, really, really exciting?
It is really, really
exciting. Tell me about it.
On October 3rd, we have our Love in Action Gala. This is my favorite event of the year, mostly because it's a party, but it's more than that. It's a night of celebration and music and stories and kindness. We get to honor some amazing volunteers. It's really hard to pick out of those 9,000 active volunteers, but we do it somehow. And we're super grateful. We have Coca-Cola Consolidated helping us to present the event. It's just going to be an amazing night, a celebration. We actually, this year, it's a masquerade, and we have 2 Moonlight Masquerade sponsors.
Wow.
So we'll have masks there for everybody. And it's a beautiful night and fun. So fun. Silent auction, all that stuff.
And we have 2 bands, I hear?
2 bands, yes. Who needs one when you can have 2? And we'll have silent auction and just all kinds of fun stuff. Maybe some games too, you never know. But tickets are already on sale right now. You can go to loveandAction.commonheart.org. And if you're a business listening, maybe you're just a small business owner and you're looking to get your name out there, we still have sponsorships available. I'd love to talk to you about it. So you can reach out to me directly.
Yeah, I really love it because I love the dancing at night. It's about the rare time that I get my wife out on the dance floor. Well, that's because she's usually pulling me out. But
yes. Well, and I have to give a shout out to my Waxhaw Weddington Rotary ladies because they know what's up and they bring their sneakers for the dancing. So they come in their heels and they look all fancy and nice. And then when I went out to dance with them, they all had on their little sneakers. So they were ready to dance and had on the proper footwear. Yeah. So yeah, it's fun. And we have Flashback, the party band. They were our band last year, our dance band. They were amazing. And we're super excited to have them come back.
That's really, really, really cool. You know, and I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, but Great Turkey Countdown is just down the road. But we didn't say anything about it because we don't want you to think about that. We have too many other things to think about and to do before then, don't we?
That's right. That's right. So we got to get, got to get through summer, got to get through Love in Action. Turkeys will come. And, there's just so many ways that we're engaging in the community. And there's lots of ways that you can keep the hope alive beyond the summer. So one, you can give. Every single dollar makes a difference, puts food on tables and hope in hearts. Like I said, if you're seeing this on Thursday or hearing this on Thursday, you can give and it'll be matched up to $10,000. So be sure to give. Volunteer with kids back in school. Like Keith said, weekday slots are open. You can sign up at volunteer.commonheart.org. You can come to the gala. We'd love to have you and all of your friends. You can be a sponsor or you can get tickets at loveinaction.commonheart.org. And you can learn. You can take part in a Bridges Out of Poverty workshop. Invite a friend or two. Invite your church small group. Invite folks who also have a heart for our neighbors and want to learn more. So you can do that at workshops.
I'm going to give you one more again because I'm going to tell you, this is for everybody, whether you're an employer, anyone who ever interacts with anybody who has low income. If you're in the healthcare department and whatever you are, whatever you do it for a living, or just you care about the community, come on out.
Yes.
I'll go ahead and take your line. Workshops.commonheart.org. Sorry for interrupting.
All good. All good.
So many ways to be a part of this story. You can give, volunteer, learn, and celebrate. Because together we're building a community where everyone can thrive together.
Yes. So as we close this summer series, we again want to pause and say thank you. You gave your time and your energy, your money, your prayers. You showed up in the warehouse and at pantries and at parades and at food drives and at community events. We had this August is the time for community events, and we had some amazing volunteers represent Common Heart out in the community at these events.
And hundreds of people come to see us.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you. Thank you.
And because of that, families were fed because you guys showed up. Students found encouragement. Parents breathed easier. And neighbors discovered hope.
That's right. You have been and continue to be and will continue to be the heart of this movement.
Absolutely.
We cannot do it without you. And as we move into the fall and hopefully keep this fall weather, we are so excited to keep walking with you.
Yep. And the need continues. But so does the hope. And that hope is you, my friend.
That's right. This has been Hope and Uncertainty.
And remember, you are the hope in uncertain times.